Right, hi, I'm Sam Wise from Microcosm Brewing Limited, and as you might have guessed, I'm into brewing. I know, I think that might be an apt name. But anyway, to give you a little bit about myself, well, throughout my childhood and from very early on, I grew up in pubs, and it helped me appreciate the great community feel you get in a lot of towns and villages that you don't really get in a lot of places now, especially with, well, bars and just buying alcohol from supermarkets. It's a tiny bit sad. But I started homebrewing a few years ago. I just found a kit, found I really enjoyed it. Started up in my garage, then moved here to Bucks, and in my first flat, converted my wardrobe. And that's always a good start. Not the best looking thing, and to be honest, the branding could have gone a little bit better, but it was a start. That's what's important. But I have now a very good amount of experience in brewing. I've tried all sorts, beers, ciders, wines, meads, and little bits and pieces I found on via corners of the internet from different countries, and it's all good. You learn a lot from failing. But my products at the moment are unique real ales with recipes I developed myself, and these, well, so far have been particularly well received. Mead, which is a honey wine, it's a bit more niche and requires aging, but I think the results are always worth that. And looking in the future to move into liqueurs, which is a different specialist area altogether, but it's an aspiration, that one. But my target demographics are, funnily enough, real ale pubs, of which, well, I'm from the Fens, I'm from Cambridgeshire, and I do not know a sizable town which does not have at least 10 pubs. All the little villages around us have 2 or 3 real ale pubs, so I think that's a realistic goal. There's niche marketing, which is themes, especially on the mead. I'm a massive nerd and really into tabletop gaming. I've got times with the Game Society here and elsewhere, and I've never been to one of these meetings where some amount of alcohol hasn't been involved, but it's just whatever you fancy, whatever you can find, nothing sort of tailored to the feel of it. I won't go into details because it's very sad, but yeah, it's a little something. And specialist outlets for ales and meads and small brewed liqueurs, or is there are a lot of shops which just deal in, smaller markets. I've just went back. There we go. The competition. I'm aware there is a massive amount of competition in alcohol. That is not something I can avoid. But it is very much an equal playing field, especially now with there being a lot of microbreweries. It's been, at the beginning of the century, there was about, I think it must be the last century, but about 190, 200 breweries in the UK. This year there's about 1,500, and none of them struggle for business because I'm in the wrong place. I'll carry on. But when you start, you can just start small, go to your local pub, local shops, sell bits and pieces, and it builds up from there. But as for why I should win this, obviously I have a great passion. For pubs, especially for community feel, it's not something I want to see fade away. And it is pretty much a foolproof investment. I've not seen a brewery fail. There'll always be people who drink, there'll always be pubs about. Some pubs close, but generally speaking, you never go dry, do you? But as for spending, what I'm looking to do with this money is increase my capacity. At the moment, I'm still in a garage, which isn't ideal, just brewing small amounts. But what I'm looking to do is be able to have a constant set of 250-litre batches on, so I could do 4 to 6 of those a month, 200 to 300 litres. I could get out per month, cask them, get them to a pub. And a little bit would go on finalising my branding, get a logo, get myself out there a little bit more. But as I said, my plan of attack, cask ales is the main thing, getting those to pubs, because everywhere I go, there's always guest ales on for about a month, and it's a good bit of exposure, and it's a nice little chunk of income, especially when your fees are only your capital, taking a bit of that for every pint, and just ingredients. There's also a lot of festivals events. CAMRA, the Campaign for Real Ale, run a couple of beer festivals in my town, and all around them, there's plenty of them. Just show up with a couple of casks when you're registered. And again, that's a great thing because at these events, everyone talks about what they've got in their hand, what they've just had. Oh, you're quite like this. And again, it's a wonderful way of getting your way out there. And like I said, ties with gaming societies to help with the niche market, just something a little different. I'm looking to go to e-commerce with that, just get it online, get them to associated websites. But as for feasibility, there is obviously a very large customer base. I don't know if anyone knows someone who doesn't drink. It's quite rare. I did not know anyone, anyway. Going well, going well. And it's a very close-knit industry. With microbreweries, we all help each other out. If I want advice, I can speak to anyone who even brews in their own garage, and you learn something new. It's a great way to get a foot up, especially when you get helped out by someone else.
Sorry, Sam.
Oh,
I'm going to have to
sorry.
cut you off.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
fine.
Give a round of applause for Sam. All right, judges, fire in with your questions.
Sorry to shatter the illusion. I do know microbreweries that have failed. But
I'm sure there are.
commend the enthusiasm and indeed the passion. It sounds like you know your beer. Unfortunately, it doesn't sound like you know about the rules and regulations, because £1,000 won't get you through what you need to do to make sure you can sell in a pub, or indeed certainly sell online. So have you looked into that and how you would bridge the gap?
I have looked into, after registering as a company, into the beer tax and paying duty, and whilst I know there is a sizable break of about 50,000 for such a small operation, I know there are upfront costs to cover.
Well, it's also making sure the ingredients are consistent, making sure they're marked appropriately, things like that, and you have to have your certification around that. That's quite expensive.
Okay. Well, then I may well have missed something, I'm afraid.
It's all right.
Okay.
Have you exhibited at any beer festivals at all?
I haven't been to any with my own products yet. No, I've only so far, sold and sampled to friends, families, guys from the local. But I've not had the opportunity to actually go to a beer festival and use my own products.
Because all the microbrewers I've seen, if you go into them, they've got on their walls all these plaques they've won, best beer and all that sort of thing, which really gives them some degree of credibility. So I guess my question would be again then, so given all the competition, why would we buy our beer from you?
Well, I suppose that's a big part of the way I'm trying to start up, is to get myself out there, get the exposure and the credibility by allowing myself to go to these festivals and get a foothold, really. Because that's, yeah.
Okay, just a final point for me is I live in a little town called Oundle near Peterborough.
Yes,
and
I know.
You know Oundle, yeah.
Yeah.
6 months ago, Neen Valley Brewery started there in a little shed.
Oh, yes.
And they opened it up to the public, and people started going in there. You can go in there every night now, and there's a crowd of people outside actually drinking. And they've just in the last week opened what they call Oundle Wharf, which is a restaurant next to them, and they are servicing it with beer, and they are doing cracking. So just never lose that dream.
No, I
just
don't
keep
plan
going,
to.
but get out there and win some awards.
All right, well, thank you.